Welcome back to the Padres Wrap-Up Show, our brand new YouTube channel. Here's the deal, Jim. John Schaefer, Jim Russell. Hit the subscribe button. Jim, point down there. That's where it is. Hit the subscribe button. Exclusive content. You know we do this on the radio, obviously, but we're doing all new content on YouTube. Look, I'm at home, Jim. I got my whole brand new setup. What do you think, man?
I like it. The mirror's a little weird, but
it is. You can see like my television and everything in the background. I can change it up.
You can always change it up. It's fine. It works. I like it. It's a little plain. It's not like my setup where I have like bobbleheads behind me and I have Tony Gwynn over here. I got Trevor Hoffman over here. But yeah, it's okay. It will do.
All right. So we're back, I think, for the third time in 3 days. And the question today, after Tatis hits his 40th home run last night, the Padres lose again. Will Fernando Tatis Jr. win this National League MVP award or not? It is a two-horse race, Jim, and we should get into it. But it's between Tatis, who has put up numbers all year long, although he's missed some time because of injury, and Bryce Harper, whose Phillies have had a similar season. I think they're a little closer to contention right now in that NL East. But you look at these numbers, both have had excellent seasons. I don't think anyone else can win it. Will Tatis, in your opinion, win the National League's MVP award?
If he continues to have the September that he's having, which is a really good September. He's at over 300. His OPS is over 900. I think he should win it. Will he win it? I don't know, just because of the team's record. But the team record aside, I mean, he has been one of, if not the best player for the entire season. He leads the National League in home runs. He leads the National League in slugging percentage right now. His OPS is almost over 1,000. Yeah, if I had a vote today, I would vote for Fernando Tatis Jr.
Here's my concern. I think individually he's done everything that anyone could ask him to do. The record overall isn't overly concerning. We know Mike Trout has won it on teams that are much worse than the Padres are. My concern is that the Padres' collapse is going to fall on Tatis's MVP candidacy, like 10-26 over these last 36 games. The Padres were better in 2019 in their last 36 games. They were 11-25. This team is worse than 2019. If they had just hovered around 500 all year and he had done this, I think that wouldn't be held against him. The fact that they've gone into the tank like this, the fact that we had Saturday play out publicly and nationally, well, I don't think at the end of the day, that's really a big deal. And that's such a minor moment over the course of the season. I wonder if it's used against him, though. And then you look at Bryce Harper. He's turned it on. I'm going to pull up his numbers right now. I mean, Harper, like you said, Tatis has had a great year. You could argue statistically, Harper has had a very comparable year, 314, 431 on base, 621 slugging. His OPS is better than Tatis's at 1,051. So I think you could go either way. I'm just concerned because, the Phillies have played decent baseball down the stretch and the Padres really haven't. And I just wonder if voters hold that against Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah, but also it's not like Bryce Harper and my dog is making an appearance. It's not like Bryce Harper is on the Dodgers. The Phillies are potentially going to miss the postseason as well. So it doesn't matter what your record is if you don't make the postseason. Like if the Phillies were 86 and whatever, and they didn't make the postseason, and the Padres were under 500, it should go to Bryce Harper. Like, no, both teams missed the postseason, so I put them in the same exact category. If Bryce Harper's team was in the postseason, it's a completely different story. So looking at Bryce Harper, yeah, he's got really good numbers, but so does Fernando Tatis Jr. Fernando Tatis Jr. is arguably the face of baseball. So for me, just looking at the sheer numbers of them all, even if it's close, which it is, I'm siding with Tatis. There's really nothing that Bryce Harper has over Tatis that is a huge disparity.
All right, here's why I would give it to Tatis. I don't know if he's going to win it. Here's why I would vote for Tatis. The fact that he's overcome multiple shoulder injuries this year. Yeah. The fact that he's moved position in season, having never played the position previously professionally. And the fact that he's produced all year. And the fact that he's more well-rounded, you could argue, than a Harper because of the stolen base numbers, because of what he's been able to do playing multiple positions, playing in the infield and in the outfield. I mean, his numbers are ridiculous. I mean, he's had one of the best seasons in Padres history. A 40 home run season has been done just 5 times in the history of this organization. Adrian Gonzalez was the last to do it all the way back in 2009. It felt like it was his all year long, a little bit like 2020. I know 2020 was the short year. Halfway through it, it was like Tatis inevitably is going to win this, but he didn't have a good September in 2020, and that was half the year. To your point, he has had the good September. The problem is the team hasn't. Here's the thing. He's got to stay healthy here. These final 10, 11 games matter. Can you get to 44 home runs? Can you get to 45 home runs? Can you put up more RBI numbers, big slugging numbers? If he's able to do that, maybe it will be enough. But if he's unable to do that, if he gets some days off, like Manny Machado today, by example, the Padres are still mathematically alive and Machado's sitting in a day game against the Giants today. That really surprised me. Yeah, have you seen the lineup today?
No.
Machado's sitting.
Okay.
You know, I mean, there's 6 out. I mean, it's over, but it's not officially over. I can't sit Machado. When 2 days ago he said we need to win our last 13 games, and that's my only priority.
Way to wave the white flag, just even when you're not mathematically eliminated. I don't like that. That's horrible. I'm sorry.
Right, and I need to see, and to that point, like Tatis, he's got to play. Like, how many games are left? 11 games are left?
11 games, unless Machado is injured. But if he's not, then why is he not playing? Like, I don't understand that logic there at all. And that's the thing with Tatis is he's healthy enough to go and play, then he's got to play. There's no like shutting him down to save him from injury. Like, no, that's
he's already been injured.
He's been injured, and he's going for an MVP. And like you said, if Tatis in his next 11 games, say he hits 3 or 4 more homers, and he ends up with 43, 44 home runs on the season and over 100 RBIs. He hits around 285, 290, 25 stolen bases, an OPS over 1,000 or close to 1,000. Like, that's MVP level there. And it's not a team award. Like the MVP award, it's not a team award. If it was a team award, it'd be different. And honestly, I think the MVP award should be changed to the most outstanding player award, personally, because a lot of MVPs in baseball, football, basketball, like they win it and their team isn't that great. You know, like it's about the player's performance. If you give out MVP awards for team performances, then like Brandon Crawford should be MVP this year. You know what I mean?
No, that's a really good point. And yeah, the Padres are going to finish maybe at 500 or below it. But truth be told, if they didn't have Tatis, I mean, this is a team like 2017 or 2018 or 2019. So you can only imagine. Nobody wants to imagine what this team would look like without Fernando Tatis Jr. Now, could he use another moment? Here's the thing. There's not that many moments to happen because they're not making the postseason. Like last night, you go back, he represents the winning run. It's the 9th inning. There's 2 on. He lifts the ball to left. I'm thinking off the bat, maybe it's gone. So did, by the way, I heard the John Miller call in San Francisco.
Oh, he thought
it was gone. Yeah. Everyone thinks it's gone. When Tatis hits a ball to the outfield with 2 on, representing the winning run. And again, is that going to be the difference between winning and losing the MVP? They're not making the postseason either way. I'm with you, though. Like, continue to compile so you put pressure on the voters at the end of the year. I think the fact that he's overcome the injury, moved to the outfield, and had one of the greatest seasons in Padres history, and like you said, is the face of baseball. Yeah, it's subjective. It's arbitrary. It's not a factual statement. It's not tangible. But he is the face of baseball, and he's only 22 years of age. And if you're giving the benefit of doubt to one of those 2 players, Harper won an MVP. Tatis has now been in the conversation each of the last 2 years. And he spoke about it last night, right? Do we have some of the audio from him and the video last night?
Yeah, so Tatis talked to the media. This was him about hitting 40 home runs in a season.
I wish I could have celebrated on a different story, but, it's been a long year, a lot of ups and downs, especially coming back from those injuries. On my standpoint, I'm pretty happy.
Are we having some issues with the video?
That's fine. So that was Tatis talking about hitting 40 home runs in a season. He's the MVP to me. There's really nothing other than the Phillies making the postseason that would change my mind. That's the only thing that would change my mind as far as the MVP race goes right now.
I'll give you one other. Would this change your mind? The Padres either lose out or do as bad as possible, 1-10. And because that's how they're playing, Jim. They're 2-10 in their last 12.
they went 1-10 and Tatis hits like 150 over the next 11 games, then yeah, maybe. But I think he's compiled up enough numbers for the voters to look and say, yeah, those are MVP numbers.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think that it was a foregone conclusion. I think him returning from injury and producing. Remember his first game back from injury in Arizona, and they put him in the outfield. He hits 2 home runs, and the Padres were mired in that losing streak. It like lost consecutive games in Arizona. They needed a pick me up. The problem is, and we've said this a lot, we thought that Fernando Tatis Jr. would try to put the team on his shoulders, and that's essentially been confirmed by Manny Machado when they had the dust up or the altercation, screaming match, not an altercation, the back and forth in the dugout. And he said, we all are going to learn from this. And Tatis is trying to probably, it's been frustrating because he hasn't been able to lift the fortunes of this team. But that was unfair.
He's 22 years old.
He was never going to do it. I don't care if he's 22, 32, or 102. I don't care if he hits 50 home runs this year. They haven't had enough pitching. The rest of the team has collapsed. Position players only have so much value. Look at Mike Trout. It was just asking too much, knowing about the injuries that they were dealing with, the starting pitching ineffectiveness, the struggles with the lineup, some of these struggles late in the season with the bullpen. It's just like they did ask a lot of him. And I don't care what he did in the second half. I don't think it's probably a postseason team, right? I mean, they're going to finish 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games out of wild card contention in the end.
This thing is over. It's done. Like, there's no more caring about what happens, the results of the games. The only thing that really is of interest, at least to me, is what Fernando Tatis Jr. does. And if he can lock up this MVP award. Because it is a 2-horse race right now. Unless Max Muncy pulls off something spectacular here in the next 11 days and the Dodgers end up winning the division, you can maybe give him a couple first place votes. But I mean, Max Muncy hasn't been talked about this year like Fernando Tatis Jr. I just don't see it. I don't see, as a 2-horse race. It's between Harper and Tatis. Both of those teams are likely going to miss the postseason. Their numbers are pretty much the same, but Tatis, it has more home runs. He has more RBIs. He has more stolen bases. He's played lesser games, yes, but still doing it in lesser games, I think, is even more of an accomplishment than what Bryce Harper's done. Could you imagine if this guy played a full 162 game season? He played like 155 games. This guy would have over 50 home runs easily right now.
You know what? That's a really good point. And if he didn't have the shoulder issue, he'd have many more than 25 stolen bases. He'd be a legitimate threat for 40-40 if he had stayed healthy. That's a great point. I mean, he'd have 50 home runs and potentially 40 stolen bases. These are the odds right now. According to Vegas Insider, Bryce Harper is minus 130. A slight favorite over Tatis, who's plus 100, so even money. Then Muncy's all the way back at plus 1,800, 18 to 1.
So it's a 2-horse race.
Yeah, and then Juan Soto's plus 2,800, 28 to 1.
No.
So that's it. I mean, those are your candidates. It's Harper or Tatis. And these last 2 weeks probably do matter, to your point. If the Phillies are in the postseason, Harper wins it. If the Padres go 0-11, Harper wins it. If Tatis hits 6 home runs, Tatis wins it. Mm-hmm. If the Padres actually close playing decent baseball, and he's a reason why, he could absolutely win it. But it's probably a situation where the jury is still out. And I think it's going to be a very close vote. I really do believe it's probably going to be a split vote, and the difference will be, a couple of votes here or there.
Yeah, very close vote. It's going to probably go down to the last day, whatever both of those guys do. But still, I stand firmly with Fernando Tatis Jr. It's not because we just cover him every day. It's because look at his numbers, and I will keep going back to they're better than Bryce Harper's. Like a couple numbers are better on Bryce Harper's front, but it's not really anything. The disparity isn't that large, and Tatis has been the front runner all season. So now you're just going to give to Bryce Harper because why? His team is closer to a playoff spot than Fernando Tatis Jr.'s team is. Like, I don't buy that, and I don't think that's a good reasoning at all to give someone.
And one other thing, we didn't mention. What about just what he does, the brilliance of him on field? It doesn't transcend into the stats and the box scores. Like every single night, the matrix moves when he gets back into first. Right. The flair and energy and excitement, the catches, the defensive plays, the bat flips. I know Harper has some of this as well, but Harper's been around for the better part of the last decade. in the big leagues. We've seen his antics. To me, it's grown a little bit stale. Tatis is new and fun and electric and exciting. Everything that baseball needs is within Fernando Tatis Jr.'s ability. It really, truly is. And the numbers are going to be the numbers, and they're going to be awesome. But outside of the numbers, he's one of the more special players in this sport right now. And again, if it's 6 of one or half dozen of the other, I think that there's a good shot that Fernando Tatis Jr. does win it. All right. If you're new to the wrap-up show here on YouTube, subscribe down there, right down there. Subscribe, exclusive content. We're going to do it throughout the final couple of weeks here of the regular season and all throughout the offseason. Moves ahead. Dennis Lynn writing today, Jim. More moves could be imminent. We'll have more on that later this week. Subscribe. YouTube channel, iHeartRadio app. For Jim, I'm Jon. See you next time.